Not much going on in the Europa second legs. I couldn't find anything really there yesterday. I think we got the one play, HJK Helsinki, taking advantage of the red card. 0-1 to 2-1. I actually backed HJK at, I think it was 13s or 14s for £6. Made a very nice sum there. So sometimes when you're searching for value, you get amply rewarded. Backing at 13s, laying off at 105. That was the only way I could see of getting involved here without it costing too much. £6 liability by backing HJK. You could have made £8 with the equaliser, which is half of your... No, it wasn't half. It was about equal. So you've made just over evens with or a 1-to-1 risk reward with that single goal to make it 1-1. Las Palmas Real Madrid. If you cash out, and I had to leave this because I just fell asleep. Really, don't fall asleep when you're trading because you have the opportunity to cash out 59th minute. That could have yielded a profitable trade. +1 was a little too skinny. But backing Real Madrid 2.46, laying Las Palmas at 3.6, you could have made a green screen at the 1-1. So do remember that. So all in all, a quietish night. I don't really like these second legs. I don't like these European sides. But this is strange. We're seeing it all the time now. Girona bouncing back to a 4-0 win. And this is what I don't understand. Franking the form, 4-0 win. But then, how come Atletico Madrid can beat this lot 3-0 and then fail to score against Espanyol? This lot are arguably far better than Espanyol. So it's a mystery, absolute mystery. On to today. It's an interesting enough coupon. We've got enough high-class fare to keep us interested. Let's have a look. I've just researched the major matches today. Luton and QPR. Luton newly relegated. Not enjoying it at the moment. And they're conceding heavily as well. So they're going to have to sort this out. This is a London derby as well. Ish. Luton is just outside of London. So it's a geographical derby. It's not a proper derby. 1-1 scoreline, says the software, says the research. Both teams to score under 2.5 goals. Well, we'll soon find out. Union Berlin and St. Pauli. St. Pauli are newly promoted. They had a reputation for over 2.5 goals in Bundesliga 2. So we'll see if that comes to roost today. Union Berlin, possibly going to be the better side. They've got the Bundesliga experience under their belts. It's an automatic or it's a logical choice for the home side, isn't it? But evens is giving St. Pauli a chance. They are the unknown factor. Lyon against Strasbourg. Lyon's lack of goals is particularly concerning. Failed to score in their opening 3 League matches. It's becoming worrisome now for Lyon. Well, the research is going for a 2-1 Lyon win. They are priced to perform a little better today. Are they going to end that sequence of failing to score? Venezia, newly promoted Venezia, playing Torino. Another tough match, as they all will be for Venezia. Torino, unbeaten run and defensive resilience. They tended to have a bit of that last season as well, with a few very tight matches. So it could be a tough one, I think. Che Adams, a good signing for Torino. 1 goal and 2 assists in 3 matches. Torino 2-1 win. Well, we never know with Venezia, particularly a side at home. You've seen we cannot automatically go with a side against apparent weaker sides. Las Palmas, Mallorca at home, 1-1 against Real Madrid. Espanyol 0-0 against Atletico Madrid. You've already had the warning signs. We cannot automatically dismiss these sides, particularly when they're playing at home in front of their fervent home support who were desperate to see them in Serie A. Inter Milan and Atalanta, arguable. This is a derby-style match. Derby-style match for me. Inter Milan dropping points in their opener, winning their second match as they had to, if they're going to have any chance of a title battle this season. 2-1. It looks like it could be one of those tight affairs today, but we don't really know what kind of a mood Atalanta are in. Don't forget they were in the Europa League final last year. So this is going to be the first strong test of the champions Inter Milan. How are they going to hold up? It's going to be a fascinating match. Probably a little bit tough to call. Inter Milan have got Matt Damon in the side as well to bolster them up defensively. RKC Valvik against AZ Alkmaar really should be favouring AZ. Poor start to the season for RKC. 2-0 defeat against Go Ahead Eagles. AZ sitting in fourth, 7 points from 3 matches, which is excellent. Goalless draw against Groningen, which was a bit of a surprise that, yet again, we're seeing a big gun being kept quiet. I wonder if these sides have had some defensive lessons over the summer, because it's particularly rife in Spain, and it's a big surprise when you've got Mbappe up front. Is he getting any chances? I'm surprised that he's not filling his boots. So this looks a 1-3 AZ Alkmaar win. I wouldn't automatically dismiss RKC Valvik, but really on paper, AZ should have too much. Benfica playing at Moreirense. Benfica, one of those selling sides now. Paris Saint-Germain especially stealing their major players from last season. Moreirense lost 3-1 away to Sporting Braga. That should give you a clue as to what to expect today in this particular match. Those are the main fixtures today. I'm taking a day off. I think I deserve it. Lots of late nights. It really does just grab at you after a while. So I'll take a day off, have a rest, and be fully awakened for tomorrow with another live chat webinar on Saturday and Sunday. German Bundesliga returns. I'm just working my way through. We've got Ghent and Westerlo at 7:45. Could interest you. In the Belgian Jupiler League. Croatia probably. HNL 1 League. Much of a muchness, that one. The Czech 1 League isn't in play today. Danish Super League. No strong opinion there. These are the guys I'm latching onto today. Odense at 6 o'clock. Expect goals from them today. Very, very strong side in this league. Watch out for OB Odense. Goals, goals, goals. Premier League 2. Talking of goals, goals, goals. We should be seeing over 2.5 goals in the vast majority of these matches. Now, we've got a kind of a template to work off. The best thing to do is try to delay 15 minutes. That will double or thereabouts the odds of over 2.5 goals. And I would personally move down to over 1.5 goals if I can get anything near 1.7, 1.8 about over 1.5 goals. If you can get 1 goal scored before the hour mark, then you could yield yourself a profit, all depending on when you get involved. It's all about delaying, I think, the secret to over's success. I'm not going to say over 2.5 goal, because I prefer over 1.5 goal. You get a single goal, you're half the way there. And you could also lay over 0.5 goals to cover the 0-0. So 1-0 would be the only scoreline that could scupper your chances. More on that tomorrow in the live chat webinar, where we'll do some experimenting live for you in these overs markets. So we're very successful last weekend, just in experimental mode, thinking in front of your eyes kind of thing. No strong plan. But the more we look at it, the more distinctions we'll be able to make. Similar story for the Professional Development League as far as over 2.5 goals is concerned. It's a very good league for goals. I wouldn't say that for every single match. Just make sure you look at some of the recent matches in the H to H. Make sure they've been goal fests. And this looks a good one to choose, doesn't it? Blackburn look very poor defensively, and it's 7-goal thriller last time these two met. So you don't have to have the football genius of Wayne Rooney to suss that out as a possible over 2.5 goal match. Moving on down, French Ligue 2, always worth your while. Martigues got an excellent win last week. They'll be absolutely delighted for that newly promoted Star team, as I think are Red Star as well. Probably why they're not favourite against Guingamp here today. Clermont, I think, are newly relegated. Guingamp, I think, newly relegated. Estac Trois are affiliated to Manchester City, but that doesn't seem to be helping them. 3.5 today. Girona, on the other hand, also affiliated to Man City, have been flying in the Spanish La Liga. Bundesliga 2 is always worth your while. Fortuna Dusseldorf, newly relegated, I believe. And we can always just check that. Or you can check that excellent bit of kit that Anthony Wyborn did for us. Well done for you, Anthony. Do appreciate your efforts in helping us out. I've got a list of it somewhere. I can't find it. I did download it. It was just a document, but these are not in the order in which I viewed them. But it is available for you, so please make use of it. And please read these previews if you're interested in Bundesliga 2. You won't get anywhere near as excellently written a preview as you will here for free. Greuther Fürth, I think they're newly relegated, aren't they? We can check that out again. That's Jan Regensburg. Get before the CF, they were in the Bundesliga 2 last season. Greuther Fürth, I'm sure they were relegated. No, they weren't. Oh, fair enough. Just make sure with Dusseldorf, I'm sure. Or am I? This is where that spreadsheet of Anthony's will be very helpful indeed. I gave you that yesterday, so I hope you downloaded it. Bundesliga last year, Fortuna Dusseldorf. So they're either going to find this to their benefit, a lower league, or, well, are they going to do a Hertha Berlin, a Hamburg, and find it impossible to get out of this damn second tier? It's what's it going to be? Sink or swim for Dusseldorf? We'll soon find out. Bundesliga 2 is a very good league to trade. As we're finding is Italian Serie B. Some very good angles there midweek. Nice profit. Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division taking a back seat now to the elite football. The elite is far more readable than this. Cork City, very strong favourites against Longford. Newly relegated Cork. And guess what? Finding this league very much to their liking. That's the absolute standout odds-on favourite there. We know the assumptions that 1.14 brings with it. Netherlands, Eerste Divisie, goals, 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 goals. Don't forget, check the head-to-head as well. Make sure they're doing it this season. I don't like clean sheets, though, when I'm looking for goals, because the side could nick a 1-0. So I'm not too keen on the clean sheets for the overs. But a 6-0 win against Young AZ for Den Bosch, and a 1-1 against Maastricht. So flirting with 2.5 goals. Only the one first half goal, though, is a concern when I'm looking at overs. But you could also delay and then enter the market. I still haven't got that exit strategy sussed out yet, but I think if we use a lay of over 1.5 goals, over 0.5 goals to cover the 0-0, that could help us out, couldn't it? Oslo and Lillestrøm, again, not much to talk about there. Polish Ekstraklasa, no, first league Ekstraklasa there. Lech Poznan, odds-on favourite, as is Rakow, champions a couple of seasons ago. So might get some action out of that one today. And if you wanted to look at how these teams have been performing, the quickest route is fcstats.com. It'll provide you with a challenge table. Just give you a quick indicator of how they're getting on this early season. Polish Ekstraklasa, we've got the matches here. Rakow against Piasklevice. Give it a click. Scroll down and you'll see the home side at the top, and it's completely barren, as befits the start of a season. But you'll notice they've only really played the early season Big Two and failed to score against them. Away from home, keeping clean sheets and winning. That's not a bad combination. They are playing early season third in the league. So Piasklevice have had a good start to the season, only the one loss away at Stalmilik. Very little for us to work off, of course, this early in the season. But the challenge table, once it fleshes out, you can start seeing patterns from it. Polish First Division, just keep a little eye on Arka Gdynia. They can turn up, particularly when the in-play stats speak. They tend to perform. And as we know, Benfica away at Moreirense today. So it's an okay coupon, but I must take time off. Just working these nights just knocks it out of me a little bit. I've got to take a day off. Granada against Huesca, 1.83. Newly relegated Granada. Let's have a look. If they're newly relegated, they might find this to their liking. Indeed, La Liga last season, Granada. So watch out. What an end. 7-0 defeat to Girona. But they might find this to their liking this season. They're 1.83 favourites. Real Oviedo and Santander, don't know too much about those two. They're perennial La Liga 2 teams. Swiss Challenge League, no Super League today. Turkish Super League, Fenerbahce against Alanyaspor. And if you wanted a quick précis of this match, go to uk.soccerway.com. Anything with an I in it, somebody's done a preview about it. And as I've mentioned in the past, you'll get some excellent betting angles from the pre-game facts. Edin Dzeko scored in the last 2 games for Fener. Don't forget, it's under the special one. Been a penalty awarded in 6 of the last 10 games between Fenerbahce and Alanyaspor. Even number of goals. Both teams have scored in Alanyaspor's last 7, so they might be vulnerable if leading. And the preview, of course. Under the special one, you'd expect an improved performance, but you'd probably expect a few more 1-0s, wouldn't you, for Fenerbahce? So that's it today. It is my day off. Don't forget the US Open. If you're playing the tennis, I hope you're doing well. You saw those 2 trades yesterday coming from 2-0 down to win 3-2. That's what we're after in the men's game in particular. So you take your cues from the pre-match odds. You can look at Novak Djokovic, already dominant over Laslo Djere. Moving on down. These are the ones I starred. Hurkacz. Well, big surprise there. I would have probably waited for the 2-0 to get involved. Yet again, an Australian scuppering our chances. They are competitive folks, these Aussies. O'Connell there, Thompson there. And, of course, Thanasi Kokkinakis, mate. Stroke, mate. Didn't get through on this occasion, mate. Yannick Sinner, easy as you like. David Goffin, 1.36 favourites against Mannarino. Drop the first set in a tiebreaker. That's when you get involved. Particularly such a tight tiebreaker as this. Quite simply, Mannarino just won the right point at the right time. Old Hitler haircut getting through. De Minaur. Fils dropped the first set, won the second. If you were strictly looking at that trading angle, there you go. Don't forget the 2-0 to 2-1 prevalent there as well. And yet another strong favourite 2-0 down. That's when you get involved. And what an excellent performance from Schoolkate, who's yet another Aussie, mate. Stroth. Schoolkate, mate. Yeah, mate. Stroth, mate. Yeah. Where's me strides, mate? Stroth. Really battling, aren't they, these Aussies? 2 sets down. This is another 5-setter. So you get involved at 2-0 down. Unless you get involved at 1-0. And then he loses the second set, get involved at 2-0 again. Averaging up. So some potential plays there yesterday. Ladies' game I'm not wholly taken with. Just simply my lack of knowledge in the players and their strengths and weaknesses. You can see Katie Balter again going down to Buzas Maniero. 33rd against 74th. So there's a bit of a flaky nature about Katie Balter. Lack of consistency is not what you want as a trader. You want a Taylor Fritz type player. Reliable reliable. And this is an American, all-American affair, and yet again, Swiatek. I would still be laying at these odds, 1.03. Well, have a great Friday. It looks a very decent coupon tonight, but I do need to have a day off. I will be working solidly for you from about midday onwards tomorrow, all the way through, and we'll have a live chat at 2:30 p.m. We've got an early start for Arsenal against Brighton. Arsenal have been winning 2-0. Is that a new... Well, it's a perfect tactic, isn't it? 2-0, the perfect scoreline. Wonderful. 1-0, you're on the ropes, aren't you? Because you're open to an equaliser. 2-0, you can still concede and still win. Geographical-ish derby, Leicester and Aston Villa. Brentford and Saints. Some of these matches are a little hard to read. Everton have been conceding 7 goals, is it, in 2 matches? Something is up with the Toffees, particularly defensively. It's awful. Don't know what's going on. Newly promoted Ipswich could be competitive at home. They kept Liverpool out for the first half. That could be the story of their season. Defensively tight, but floundering in the last 15 minutes of matches when fitness takes over. Man City, well, due difference that they're up at these kind of odds, 1.4 against West Ham. New manager for West Ham could surprise. And in French Ligue 1, Saint-Etienne, newly promoted, will be delighted to be in Serie A in French Ligue 1. German Bundesliga, well, goals last week, but we didn't get any goals midweek. We only got the 1 goal against Jena for Bayer Leverkusen. I wonder if Alonso fielded his weakened side. Generally speaking, last season, against the big guns, we tended to see score draws for Bayer Leverkusen, and we tended to see them come from behind. So I would welcome that pattern today against the Leipzig, who didn't really fire last week. Your usuals for a staple diet of overs, perhaps Hoffenheim and Werder Bremen, who can usually guarantee you goals before half-time, which is an excellent opening gambit for an over 1.5, over 2.5 goal play. As I say, if you attend the live chat webinar tomorrow, we're going to be investigating these overs a little bit more deeper. I thought we made some excellent progress last week. Just going to come up with a template. I've got some ideas. For example, 1.4 favourite. If it's 0-0 after 15, 20 minutes, back over 1.5 goals if it's 1.7 or higher. You can normally cash out, and your return you'll get will be a third of your liability, or thereabouts. So for me, a £40 liability, get a £13 green screen just for that single goal. If it's placed in the first half, of course, you're going to get an even bigger swing in the odds. And we also had, with over 3.5 goals, if you get involved at 2-0, because if you get that third goal, the big swing, the swing is bigger. You saw that with Celtic the other day. So lots for us to think about. I wonder if Parma are going to be a thorn in Napoli's side as they were yesterday or the day before. Very good home performance from Parma. Am I getting it mixed up with Las Palmas? Let's just see. Am I getting it mixed up? No, against AC Milan, they actually got the win, which was absolutely outstanding from Parma. But again, we got that equaliser. And this is getting to be a real pattern, isn't it? These sides, particularly at home, where there's a huge gap in quality, newly promoted, are getting wins. I hate to remind you, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, now AC Milan. Have they sussed something out, these lower tier sides, about how to play these big boys? How to stifle the life out of them? This now becomes a must-win for Atletico Bilbao. You don't want a must-wins in a 2.38, the favourite match, do you? Of course, Barcelona are sitting in the sidelines laughing their heads off with a raft of 2-1 wins, while all around them are floundering. Barca are doing the business. I think Rayo Vallecano kept one of the other big boys quiet, didn't they? So Barcelona ticking along nicely. So we will see. Have a great day today. It looks a very reasonable coupon. I need to take a day off, as I'm sure you can understand with the time difference. So best wishes. It looks a really good coupon. Lots of familiar names, but we do still have the question mark about these newly promoted sides. You have been warned. They are pulling off some surprise results early season. So it's going to be fascinating this evening. I wish I could be up for it. I'm probably going to be having an early night. Got a very busy day tomorrow. Have a great day. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget, if you fancy the tennis, now is the time to play the US Open 4 o'clock kickoff for that.